I'm Fletcher Rhoden, and this is Quotes and Quips. This week, words of wisdom from William Shakespeare. Quotes and Quips is brought to you by my website, FletcherRhoden.com. That's where you'll find links, such as those to my Amazon.com authors page, where you can buy my books in the various formats, paperback, Kindle, and audiobook format. And to Spotify, my artist page, where you can download or stream my music in its various subgenres. I've got new music for 2024, so check that out. Now you can download my music from any website all over the internet. But at my website, FletcherRhoden.com, there's free music that you can get there exclusively. So check it all out and have some fun. Now, William Shakespeare, renowned playwright, perhaps the greatest writer of all time. And in one of his plays called Hamlet, one of his tragedies, this quote comes to us, and here it is. To be or not to be? That is the question. Well, so this is oft quoted. One of the most widely quoted lines of Shakespeare, I believe. And it speaks to a lot of things. It works on a lot of levels. When speaking the line, Hamlet, whose father has died, and who's murdered, and he's calling upon Hamlet to avenge his death. So Hamlet, he is a melancholy Dane. He knows what the price will be of his actions. And he doesn't want to die, but he doesn't want much to live. And he is preoccupied with the nature of the meaning of life and death. So this once again brings us to that pesky mid-20th century notion of existentialism. Why am I here? Who am I? Now, I personally find existentialism to be the philosophy of the 13-year-old. I think you either get over it or start thinking about more important things. I find existentialism to be basically self-involved, selfish. Why am I here? Who am I? What do you do for me? Me. You know, which was very indicative of the 20th century when it rose to prominence. Now, this was, of course, hundreds of years after Shakespeare, but that doesn't matter. To be or not to be? That is the question. Well, it does have shades of, to be or not to be is to live or not to live. And the question is it nobler? Is it better? Is it this? Is it that? He looks at the skull of an old friend. Yorick, man of infinite jest. And he wonders to what end was this man's whimsy and folly when his bones lie rotting in the earth. He foresees his own death and the futility of his own efforts. And the essence of this play is basically the folly of our pursuits. Everybody in it dies. To be or not to be? That is the question. Now, it also does, however, bring to mind a question of purpose. Because he's not just saying, what is it to live? What is it to die? What he's saying is, which is better now? Which is called for? Which is nobler now? To be or not to be? That is the question. He faces a choice. and he know that his choice will bring death, likely his own and not only his own. Will he be able to make that sacrifice? Is it truly better to die than to live in certain circumstances? The thing about existentialism is it's a philosophy and it has no answer. Philosophy, interestingly, is a self-defeating thing. It's one of the few things that I'm aware of that seeks its own end. The philosophy's main purpose is to destroy itself. How do I mean that? Well, philosophy asks questions. And once the question is answered, it's no longer philosophy. Then it becomes science. So philosophy is only philosophy as long as it fails to find the answers it seeks. Because once it finds the answer, it's like a praying mantis. Then it gets its head eaten off. So existentialism and things like Hamlet offer no real answers. Only the questions. Only this melancholy Dane asking these questions, walking around. What should I do? How shall I do it? He's not a strong character in that regard. Fictionally speaking, Hamlet is a weak, inactive character because he's an existential hero and he spends all of his time mulling it over, you know? But these are the things that people do mull over. And whether or not, what it is to live and die, and which is nobler in the mind, is a question worth asking. I think that's why we keep quoting that line over and over again. Generally, I think it's more philosophical than practical. People never ask it, I don't think, before they go into battle, even though that would be appropriate. It's more of a reflective, existential thing. So, William Shakespeare actually wrote Catcher in the Rye, too, it turns out. Well, he wrote most stories. Okay, so give that some thought. Let me know what you think. You can always put comments in the comments section. I read those. Otherwise, tune in next time. I'm here every Monday at noon, right here on this YouTube channel. Now, I've got another show from last year called Tracking the Lone Wolf, and it's on its own YouTube channel, Tracking the Lone Wolf. You can see that. If you pop around on this channel, which you should subscribe to, well, you'll find episodes of my show, Fletch Me Anything, and fun music videos and other cool stuff. So hang around, have fun, come back next week. Until then, bye, Mary.